Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Arden Studios and welcome back to another YouTube video. And in today's YouTube video, guys, I'm going to be listing off a bunch of quick tips and tricks to help you in anime fighters so you can get to the final world. This video might be a short one because I'm just going to be going through these basically as fast as possible. So yeah, make sure to consider leaving a like or subscribing and let's get into them. Number 1, if you're ever trying to progress through the game, it is always better you do the first boss of a world instead of the final boss. Attempting the final boss will take much longer and you don't get as much money compared to just grinding out the first boss of each respective world, so for trying to get more cash and leveling up, that's what you want to do. On the contrary though, if you are at the final world for a respective update, so for example, as you guys can see right now, the Tokyo Ghoul world is currently the final world. It won't always be the final world, but if you are at the final world for a respective update, you're going to want to do the final boss instead, because you'll find many more people AFK or just grinding it, and you're going to want to be able to do it with them so you get more cash. Number 2 is a tip a lot of you guys already know, but if you haven't seen it already, you do have an upgrade section on the right. You're going to want to level these up as they can increase your damage, your luck, and the amount of stars you can open at once. Number 3 is going to revolve around what to do if you're struggling on a respective world. I recommend at some point in the game you find a point where you're going to decide that you want to get lower level mythics. As you guys can see, I have the mythic from Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town, and at level 64 they are doing 70k damage in comparison to my level 74 common from the Tokyo Ghoul world doing 59k damage. Getting mythics from low level worlds and leveling them up will help you a lot more than getting certain high level units, and I highly recommend you try to stock up on mythics and level them up instead. The next tip on the list is to do the time trial as often as possible and preferably with friends. The time trial can help you out a ton. You get way more cash from doing it. You get boosts such as luck boost that you can use, which gets to the next tip. If you ever have luck boost going, maybe save up your cash and then use it all while you have luck boost. When you have luck boost going, you're going to be having a much higher chance of getting legendaries and mythics respectively, and as long as you get that luck boost from the time trial, for example, you can really increase your chances of getting a mythic. Also, another tip that I forgot to state when talking about the time trial is that you should go for the floor milestones, as they will contribute to your opens upgrade. I've kind of already talked about this before in the upgrades tip as well, but keep it in mind. The next tip on the list is something that a lot of you guys should know, and that is going to be that if you go in your settings in the bottom left, you can go ahead and you can get auto sell. Now what this means is that you can automatically sell items when auto opening so your inventory doesn't get full, and you can turn on auto lock, and auto lock will basically help you out because it'll lock any legendaries or mythics or whatever you set it to so that you can do bulk sells later on. I'm saying this next tip because it is solely something that newer players might not know, but if you're ever attacking an enemy, you see a little bar appear above your unit's head. This bar will keep going up, and by the time the bar fills up, your unit will do their respective special move to deal damage. Some units have different lengths than others, and as you guys can see, they all do different things. For example, my Jotaro is going to take a while to do their ultimate, but their ultimate does a lot of damage when being compared to, per se, a common that does its ultimate relatively fast. All sorts of different units do ultimates at different speeds and have different damage as a result, so it's important to look at that blue bar in order to tell how long it might take. Also, this is really nice to know if you're trying to get a new highest DPS, because you can see when all of your units are going to line up to do their special at roughly the same time, and then you can click as fast as possible in order to maximize damage. Speaking of clicking as fast as possible, another tip that should be very important to note that lots of people already know is that clicking affects your damage by a lot. Your click damage is not going to be just a minuscule boost, but in fact it will help you out a ton. And the last and final tip is going to be, actually, 2 final tips, are going to be that you have codes and these files in the bottom left. If you open up the codes menu, you can type in all sorts of codes that should be in the description or the Twitters of the game's developers that will give you boosts that can help you out a lot. And if you click the file in the bottom left, not only can you see what fighters you've unlocked from each world, but you can also see their base damage. For example, a legendary level 1 Goldar does 35 damage, while a Nezuko, for example, is doing 10 damage. Now, basically what this means is that Goldar is technically better, assuming you get them to a higher level, but due to the fact that it can be hard to level up units, this isn't always the case. The reason this is so important is because things like this show you that the epic from the Tokyo Ghoul world doing 33 damage is actually not better than, per se, Jotaro doing 69 damage at level 1 base. This basically just tells you what units are worth keeping and leveling up and what aren't if you have unlocked them. Sorry if this video did go a little fast. I hope it helped some of you guys out, and that's going to be it for all the tips. I appreciate all the support. Thank you all for watching, and peace.